Sun International was founded by Sol Kerzner in the 1970s and operates casinos around the country and in Chile. Its flagship properties are Sun City and Grand West in Cape Town. It has a market cap of 9.2 billion rand, a dividend yield of 2.6% and a price to earnings ratio of 13. Sun International, Paul, let's have a look at that period there. What is going on there?
That's a good question. You know, I don't really know. I mean, it was, as you say, a high somewhat before this on a 5-year basis at around 160. So this looks not too bad, but in fact the price variation is not that great. You can see it's at around 88 now, so it's sort of been drifting sideways. I think this could have corresponded with the earthquake in Chile because they built that Monticello casino out there. Yeah. And then they had an earthquake, which was a bit unfortunate, although they did get an insurance payout, and they are in the process of rebuilding that. Probably also an earnings-related disappointment.
Your thoughts on Sun International?
Look, Sun International, in my view, the most exciting opportunity about the group is actually Monticello, in my view, out in Chile. They got about 25% of market share in Chile's gaming space. So I think that's probably one of the most exciting elements about the business. However, I think they are definitely one of the most geared groups in the space, and I think you know, growth in South Africa has kind of started to taper off. So that's if you can sense it, I don't think I'll be going big on this name.
When you talk about growth, we look at occupancy rates in Cape Town are down quite significantly. This company seems to be struggling here in South Africa.
Yeah, it has battled recently with results. The thing you're talking about is probably the Table Bay Hotel, which has had very low occupancies. So that's a premium hotel in the waterfront. But talking of Cape Town, the Grand West Casino, which was the major license available for the Cape Town metropolitan area, it was won by the group. It was built on the old Goodwood Showgrounds. It's been a big success. So, it's the same old formula. You've got a big theatre there and people go to watch shows and travelling performers and what have you. And then you've got, the casino, and that is very, very profitable. Right there in the middle of the Cape Flats. Everybody's charging there at the end of the month when the payroll comes through. Sun City is not bad. That's an attractive asset as well. Obviously, there's the music thing, and people go there for concerts and so on. A little bit more of a destination.
Michael Bublé was there.
Exactly, that kind of thing. But on the whole, I would say, for me anyway, again, it's more gaming than resorts. So don't get seduced by the glitzy resorts. It's really about the gaming revenues. And those are a function of the payout ratios and the old people sitting there smoking and pulling on the old one-arm bandits. It's not a very glamorous industry. It's got good returns, but they're tightly regulated by government.
So you don't like the gaming aspect of things. But when you look at the African continent and some of the operations on the continent, what do you make of all of them? Are they doing much better than in South Africa?
No, look, I definitely still think that their best performance is in the South African operations. I've been going on about how guys have started to increase their presence in Africa, especially if you look at retail names, etc. But with these guys, we haven't started to see as much traction as I think we would like to see coming through from a business like this, enough for us to kind of justify saying, okay, well, if we're struggling in South Africa, maybe there is some scope to be made up from trading in the rest of Africa. So that's a bit of a challenge in my view. And I think the one company that's in this space, obviously we're going to talk about it later, that's just made another move outside the country's City Lodge. They're going to be opening their first hotel in Botswana. Let's see how that works out. And I think maybe, down the line we could start to see some feed through coming in. But at the moment, it's a bit of a challenge in my view.
Do you want to add something, Paul?
Yeah, look, this group's got a market cap of, as you said, they're 9 and a bit billion rand. So it hasn't really done all that well. But to their credit, they've continued investing heavily. They're busy doing a major revamp of the Boardwalk Casino, which is in Port Elizabeth. Substantial, basically, total rebuild. And then they have put quite significant cash into Sun City over the years, and they're also doing a revamp, it says here on my notes, and Wild Coast Casino, which is the one just over the river if you go into the Transkei or the former Transkei region of the Eastern Cape. So they're kind of in the game and they're boxing on, and they've got a nice array of licenses. So I think they're a serious player. They've got a new CEO. So they had Peter Bacon, and then they had David Coutts-Trotter, and now they've got a new guy whose name is Garth Collins, who's been there a long time. So I think they'll kind of battle along. and they've got good properties. You've got to give them that. They're a well-established market leader.
Good properties. I know you're not liking this stock or pretty much, or this company pretty much, but at that level there, would you be buying?
No, look, I mean, like I've told you, I think this. I don't like the. I don't like the gearing in the business, and I think that I'm still worried about the rate of growth in terms of occupancies, etc. It's not one that I'll be going into. Yeah.
Not one that you'll be going into. Your thoughts, Paul?
No, look, I mean, the Chilean thing, Santiago, which is the big city in Chile, I mean, they're also quite latecomers to gambling because, you know, they're conservative Catholics over there in Chile. So I think they only decided gambling was going to be legislated and organized quite recently. So I think that one could do well. But I'm, again, not really all that keen about being invested in this sector. So I'm also going to go with not hot.